G'day, folks. Been a long day, but for a variety of other reasons than you may believe. Nothing to do with the bus. Been great, apart from a bit of an issue that I had earlier today, but we got that sorted out. RV World, magnificent place. They sorted me and helped me out tremendously. Listen, this is only going out on None 2K. I don't know that I'll be able to get it out on Voice of Freedom, and I'll try and do something on Rumble as well. It's to do with last night's show. I'm looking a tad dishevelled because I've woken up to iPads and phones going off and messages left and right. If you're into Telegram, you might have seen that somebody is out there trying to raise money to pay Norf to tell what he knows about Bosie, and he's using my name and Beck Freedom's and just about every other truthers or person in this movement's name to do it. I have nothing to do with this. I don't know who this person is that's trying to raise this money, somebody put it to me. Well, it's one of two things. It's either a scam or it's a real legit anon. Well, if it was a real legit anon, I'd be questioning them wanting a $20,000 fee to impart the knowledge that they have. And I don't know why they think I'd have it for them. Weird as shit. But it does concern me that this thing is floating around on Telegram. Guru apparently had something to say about it tonight. I haven't seen his show. I did speak with him briefly today, but I ran out of service area, and by the time I was back in service area, he wasn't able to answer the phone. So, I did bring up Norf's comment from last night with him, and he said, bring it on. So I don't know if it's Guru trying to raise this money. I don't know if it's someone else offline trying to raise money. I know for sure it's got nothing to do with me. So don't be doing anything on my behalf for it, please. I'm going to try and find out more about it. And so, Norf, contact me. If you're serious about this, you're going to have to have evidence. I mean, personally, I think it's probably just a distraction. A deliberate distraction, though. And from whom? Now, last night we had a heap of trolls turn up for the first time in a while. And I can't remember, and it doesn't show me when I go back through and have a look on the None 2K feed. I thought they had very similar avatars, especially the first two that I dropped. So this other one, Norf, stayed and obviously dropped what they dropped. Now, if they're keen and they're serious, then contact me. We'll find a way. If you don't want to talk on the phone, tell me where you are. Have wheels, will travel. Bed's in the back. It's a bit unmade at the moment, but it's there. But I'm not going to travel all over the countryside, to find some cooker with a, set against Guru and Bosie. Just not going to happen. So it's been an interesting day today. I had many interesting phone calls. This is in part why it's taken me so long to get anywhere today, because some of those phone calls meant I had to pull over and spend a bit of time on the side of the road, which was nice. Meant for easy driving. It just made for a really long day. So, no fun with that. Now, let me have a bit of a look at what you guys are saying in here. I haven't got my right glasses on to read this properly. I'm surprised so many of you are up at this time of night. Nice to see so many of you awake. Hello, Vincenzo. I rang you. You haven't rung me back. I have a problem. Somebody, I think, is doing sneaky things. I've had a few emails from people today who were talking about my connection issues from last night. And yes, we may require some further investigation. Uh, Aussie Sue, what do you want to do things? Yeah, I can't remember the name of the first two that I kicked last night, if that's what you guys are discussing. I just saw the comments, and I was going to warn the first one, and then there was another comment, I think, pretty much straight under it. So changed my mind and just booted them. Look, I just find it very interesting that there's a lot of noise. You can go back and see what I've said about these sorts of noises before. And I've had a very interesting text reminding me of what year this is. That'll mean something to some of you. So I don't know. Let's see. If Norf gets in contact, just see if they're in the chat here. Would be difficult. I haven't set StreamYard up, so I'm only going out on one channel. I just wanted, as soon as I saw this picture, because it's got a still from the video with Norf's statement underneath it, and urgent, raise money, this kind of bullshit. So I'm just live on the YouTube app thing, going through the laptop, so that's why it's not going everywhere. So yeah, weird. But if Norf's serious, or anybody happens to know who Norf is, and Norf wants to put up, then we're all ears. Very interested to hear what you have to say. But if you are ransoming the information, then not interested. You're not the kind of human that's going to survive the next level up anyway. So if you're going to try and profit out of it, then I can't see that that's something the good Lord would help me sponsor in any way, shape, or form. So put up or shut up, a bit like I said last night. But I understand if you've got worries of anonymity or whatever, then reach out. There are plenty of people that have my phone number. So find someone who has it and reach out. Email me. Don't know how I'm going to prove, or how you're going to prove that you're Norf, but I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But if you're serious, if you're not serious, don't bother. Because quite frankly, if you're serious, I'll turn the bus around now and point it in the direction of wherever you are. But if you're not, I'd like to go home and see my daughter, please, at some point in the next few weeks, at least. So be serious. Stand up. Stop asking for money. And certainly anybody who sees this meme through Telegram, this plea, this urgent bailout. Look, I don't know if this is Guru. It's got Guru written on the top of the picture. I've sent him a text, but I imagine it's a bit late, or he's still talking, one of the two. So yeah, and even still, I'm not any part of it. I'm not into having my name used in that way without any form of discussion or anything else. And it has a funny smell to it, if you know what I mean. So once again, don't know whose account it's from, because there are so many accounts. But whoever owns it, I'm not part of it. And just, fair warning to you on that point. So yes, I was listening to some interesting stuff today. Well, while I was driving, there are certainly some very conflicting opinions about the 45th president of the United States. There are a lot of people who are and have been talking, if I'm honest, for a long time, who don't trust either side of this argument, believe it's a double psyop that's being played. Today, there was some interesting intel that doesn't lead me to believe that it's a double psyop or anything like that, but certainly it does open an avenue of thought. So I'll give it some more thought and try and find out a bit more about it. But at the moment, it was sort of one line in a long conversation, and sort of they're the sort of threads you wind up finding and pulling on if you've got the time. So I've written that one down and time marked it, so we'll go back. Thank you, Sue. I don't know that I can put any of these up here. If I hit this, does that go anywhere? No, doesn't look like it. So yeah, I'm not used to driving it on this system, so I don't know if I can show you comments, but thank you, Sue. Yeah, I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form. If I'm going to be raising money, you'll hear all about it. Penny, what are you saying? You're surprised to hear more than Trump was the first one indicted. Yeah, that may well be something too. One of the other things I was listening to today is that Trump could well be, after this, well, what I imagine would be the Biden resignation or exposure, if you like, of the corruption of the Biden administration, if that is to happen, he will have king-like powers for a period of time. That period was suggested to be 4 years. There will not be a 2024 election. And he will have king-like powers to steer not just good old USA through the Great Reset, but to help steer the world. Following that period, he would step down and step back into obscurity. So we've heard stories like similar kind of things before, but nobody has ever attached the word king to it. Seems to be a popular word for whatever reason at this time. Remember, words mean things, folks. Words mean things. Yeah, Penny, you got the right idea. Let's just build my place communities. But if you listen to some people, oh, they're infiltrated. Well, I got news for those people. They might find that their organisations have got a bit of infiltration going on in them too. I'd be amazed if there wasn't. And this is part of it. You've got to learn how to spot people who are working for the people and people who are working for themselves or for an ulterior motive. And sometimes it's very difficult because they wind their way in volunteer organisations, they wind their way into positions of power because they're prepared to do something and be there for however long or whatever. So, and then they get to take charge and steer committees and steer the direction of that particular My Place. I can tell you right now, just if you're part of a My Place and you're inviting anyone like Monica Schmidt to come and talk, I have sad news for you. I don't understand why you're doing that. Maybe because you're not quite aware or awake as possibly you think you are. But there are people who have platforms. Some are worthy and some less so. Mine sits probably in the more less so category if you think of the viewer numbers that happen on YouTube. However, there are people who've been demonstrated to show that they are not for the people. And I don't think My Place is the place to give those people a platform to restart their careers after they've suffered some extremely devastating setbacks and exposures of certain informations. If you are not aware, the word infiltration is used because there is a connotation to it. Look it up in the dictionary, Google it if you must. And it's a serious thing. Now, we're not just talking about infiltration from, Joe the carpet layer who's decided to come and join My Place. It goes a lot deeper than that. And in some cases, the battles that are being fought that many of you guys know nothing about behind the scenes of all this movement. And what you hear is division and, disunity and all that kind of thing. Well, there is a lot going on in the background to bring everybody together. The problem is, it's not a platform to bring everybody that's already shown themselves to be start with the Freemasons. So people who've been exposed as Masonic or as supported by political parties, mainstream political parties, supported by big, powerful lobby groups. These aren't people that have, the people who were walking up and having rallies 2 years ago, a year ago, aren't the people who are doing it today. Where's the Cossack? I mean, I think he's still in Australia. But, after what obviously happened there, he lost a lot of support from his fellow Australians, which is sad. Where's Mac? There's many stories of many people who've fallen by the wayside because they've just been exposed. Their infiltration has been seen by many and been called out. We don't give those people a platform at My Place, at least not the My Place that Darren wants and the one I'm supporting. So if you're into My Place and you're thinking about that, then I think you've really got to consider your position in the My Place organisation. Maybe go and start something else up. Second chances or something, I don't know. I don't mind if they blanket ban doing lives out of or having anything like that out of My Places, including me. If that would make people happy and keep the infiltrators or the brainwashing or the bleeding hearts or the money ripping or the whatever out of it, then that'd be great. Fingers crossed something like that could happen. But let's not go giving them another platform to stand on to try their shit another time, hey? We've worked too hard to stop that. And if you feel that that's bad and it's all about free speech, well, hang on. My Place built on the morals, the intestinal fortitude, the internal strength, the vision, direction of one man, Darren Bergwerf. He formed the structure for My Place, and he led, and still does, leads by example. I will admit, some of his examples can get a little confusing at times. But Darren is very keen to help us all find a solution, and he's looking at them all, right? He's looking at them all. Sometimes he gets a bit excited about one for a few weeks and then finds something else and gets a bit excited about that for a few weeks. But at the end of the day, it's all information, it's all knowledge, and we are getting closer to a solution out of it all. But My Place was based on the vision of one man and his principles, his morals, and his get up and go. Now, if your My Place is filled with people like Darren, who work for the benefit of all people, then you need to be more discerning about who you are letting stand up and address your members. That's something more in line with what are those core beliefs that I believe were put in place with My Place. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right off, and Darren's going to tell me if that's the case. But I feel very strongly about this. So let's hope it's the last time we have to talk about it. It'll be very messy the next time. Darren has a strong team behind him. Yep, absolutely does, Penny. and you're very proud of him. He's working his ass off, and you guys, yeah, working together to fulfill the vision and the mission. Yes, it is building a community. That's what my place is all about. But sometimes people in the community become divisive. Sometimes they get caught up in their own research, their own little power trip, their own little. Well, it's not a power trip. It's just their own knowledge, and they rightly understand that they may have a bit more knowledge than others, and sometimes it can get a bit frustrating that those people aren't catching up as fast, and it comes across then. Well, that's how division starts. That's how division splits. We can only ever move as fast as our slowest learner in this movement. We cannot leave anyone behind. Okay? Where we go one, we go all. We leave no one behind. So we can only go as fast as our slowest learner. And unfortunately, at the moment, we got a big remedial class. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Right. I can't give you any actual figures because, Vince, your spreadsheet's not working. You need to ring me now that I'm awake. But I will tell you that the hydrogen petrol mix that I have been running now for the last couple of days is stunning. I am blown away by the mileage that I'm getting, even though Vince is really, really pretty and highly attentive to detail spreadsheet. For some reason, doesn't give me the actual figures. Judging by how much I've got left in the tank and how many kilometres I've done, I'm looking at increases of 150 to 200 plus kilometres. And I've been over some pretty hilly country today. She's been bumping back through the gears, but ordinarily where it would probably bounce back 2 gears without the hydrogen, with the hydrogen, it holds, well, not the top gear, the overdrive, but it holds either back in the stepper gear or third quite happily. I've had 2 hills today where it dropped me back to 70 kilometres an hour going up them, but they were very long, and I didn't have much of a run up to get into them. So that made it a bit difficult too, but I couldn't tell you at this juncture how happy I am with this hydrogen system enough. It is just bloody staggering. The increases in power, once again, not a drag car here, it's not a race car, but if you've ever been in an old bus and accelerated off the line and had it go through the gears and take a long time to get up to 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, well, that's pretty much what this was like. Now it gets to that speed a lot quicker, a lot smoother. The torque range is greatly improved, and the engine seems to be running a little bit cooler, and certainly running smoother. Even the gearbox changing gears smoother. Everything is smoother. So blown away by Tim Dwyer's H2 system, and this is a petrol system, right? Now, I think my mileage without using it, just thinking about it without having the spreadsheet in front of me, was 31 kilometres per 100 litres after I'd finished driving around Western Victoria and whatnot, got back to Melbourne and fixed the hydrogen. I've only filled up once since then, and I needed to put some figures in, and that's why I need Vince, because it's not working. But based on just what I've done, I'm thinking I'm going to get 150, 200 k's extra. I might be wrong, but wow, I am really blown away, particularly for the hilly country that I've been through today. Uphill, down dale in the middle of bloody nowhere. So beautiful country though, dry in places, very dry, and yet other places fully greened up. It's quite strange. Lot of feed in the paddock, a lot of hay floating around. So I know that the hay drives up to Queensland are still a thing, I believe. There are certain parts of Queensland that are still drought affected, I think, and that might change with the current rain systems and whatnot going on there. Speaking of those rain systems, I had a very interesting conversation today with someone who wanted to debate climate change and what we see with cloud seeding and chemtrails, and they wanted to have not a debate. They wanted to have a conversation about chemtrails and contrails, and they wanted to have it here with us. Um, I'm open to this conversation. Basically, the gist of it would be that we would each lay down each side of our argument as evidence, and the other would maybe debunk or try to debunk or whatever those things. Now, that lays me open, of course, to God knows what. But obviously, there are a lot of you that have a lot of evidence too. And as I said, I would happily do this, provided I could bring an expert. I'm more than happy for that other party to bring an expert too, to try and debunk these things. And I see this as an opportunity to have a reasonable discourse with the opposition, people who do not believe as we believe, people who do not see as we see. This person is a bit younger than me, and when I drive, I do a lot of thinking. Okay, so I've been thinking about why some people see chemtrails and why some people see contrails. And I can't say that I've got the answer, but this is what I came up with, my fevered little mind. So I've been watching aircraft fly over, leaving contrails, fly over my head from as early as I can remember, and particularly in my 5 to 10-year-old growing up phase. Why? Because we used to lie down on the football ground at the Rapanyup Oval and watch them fly over us. I was even then had a fascination with aircraft, and we were on the flight path for a lot of aircraft that were going to Adelaide or Perth or wherever. And you could tell a contrail because it was there for a while and then it wasn't. Didn't, develop tendrils and leach off and turn into a grey cloud after a while. And we've seen thousands of them. If you're, I don't know, over 45, over 50, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why we can look at something and say, well, that's a chemtrail, not a contrail. And here are the reasons why. Now, I explained that to this person today, and I think that made them view it all a bit differently. We have to understand that a lot of these people that don't believe there is any such thing also haven't done much research. They don't know that Malcolm Turnbull gave 10 million of his own dollars and some of ours too to a Russian climate influencing mob to do what? To spray our clouds, to spray our skies. We know that they're spraying strontium and barium and aluminium and God knows what else. We know that some of it is meant to be good, right? We know that. Some of it is meant to be good, supposedly. But we also know that a lot of it is not good. And all that stuff, particularly the aluminium, strontium and barium that falls into bush areas, woodland areas, our great Aussie outback, when the fires start, they burn hot, real hot. And that's something that people my age and older also are seeing and make them go, Because for you young folk, you're not the first people to see bushfires. We've seen them for years. Look up Ash Wednesday. I was even fighting the fires that day. So we've had bushfires all my life, big bushfires. These are different, especially that one that we had down on the south east coast a few years back in New South Wales. Very different. So why does it burn hotter on the ground? Well, could it be because there's all this shit that they've sprayed over us lying there on the ground? And when a fire comes along, it just gets it hot and becomes incendiary itself. Who knows? I haven't tested it. That's the other problem. I've got a heap of it. People are sending me this shit from all over the country, but I can't find anybody who'll test it. Right? As soon as I tell them where it came from and what we think it is, well, in 2 cases, the person who was going to do the testing said, yeah, that's fine, no worries, no worries. And then they got to work and got to do the okay to get it tested and were told no. So, and in the 3rd case, I got a yes and then within 10 seconds got a no when I further explained where it had come from. So I need to find chemists that are happy to go and analyze this stuff. They don't have to identify themselves, but we just need an honest opinion of, an honest appraisal of what it is, a chemical spectrum analysis of what it is. It'd be very interesting to find that out. But yeah. All right. I was asleep. That's why I'm looking my best. Okay. Thank you to everybody who sent me through messages of concern about this thing that's out on Telegram. So if you've just joined us, that's the whole reason I'm awake and looking like this. Somebody's put out, I'm not sure if it's Guru, I don't know, I've sent him a text, he hasn't replied, but he's probably gone to bed as well. They're asking for money for this Norf person to come forward with the evidence or come forward and tell us the story of Ricardo Bozzi apparently meeting with ASIO last week, and he's flipped to do a deal to keep Guru out of jail. So somebody's decided to raise money. So my message to Norf is, if you're serious about this, then have the proof. We need the proof, not just your say-so, or I heard from somebody that such and such said this day, this day, this day. No, that's not going to be good enough. So, and I would also urge you to reconsider the $20,000 fee that you apparently seem to think you require. Last night in the chat, I sort of turned it around on Norf a bit. If you weren't watching last night's show, he said, for $20K, I'll tell you why Bozzi and Guru are working with ASIO to frame myself and a whole heap of others, including Beck Freedom, for political advantage, I think was the quote. I replied, sure, I'll take 20 grand and listen to your story. See what I did there? Spun it around. Anyway, the following part in the chat was, oh, and then, oh, okay. And so then he told us that Bozzi had lunch with ASIO, or had a chat with ASIO. So I'm not sure what else you have to tell us other than the pictures, which I would want to have analysed, the video, which I'd want to have analysed. The audio, maybe it's an audio recording. I can do that. So have that's the kind of evidence you're going to need. I'd be very sad if you had it. I'd be appalled if you had it. But if you've got it, then we deserve to know it, and we shouldn't be made to try and fundraise $20,000 to pry it out of you. That's how I feel about it. So don't put my name to anything that's raising money for you. Go off and find somebody else, like Tricky. I believe he has good access to funds. So, but yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with me. So folks, please remember, do not be a part of that. If Norf is serious and wants to contact me, then carl@vofhq.com or Norf. Plenty of people have got my number. I'm sure you know one of them. Find out what it is. Give me a call. Or if you're not the troll and you are a legit anon, then you'll know how to find my number. So look forward to having that chat. But yeah, I'm not going to pay $20,000. Nobody's going to pay $20,000. Not if I can help it. If you have this information, you shouldn't be asking for a bribe for it. It's everything we are fighting against. So you can be a good human if you really have this, or as I suspect, this is all full of shit. It smells like a scam or a bait trap to me. So I'd be pleased to be proved wrong. So let's see what happens there. Norf, Norf, whoever was asking who North is. Yeah, beg your pardon, my th and my th can sound the same. On that note, I'm going to thought I might head off to bed. I've got another bit of big day traveling, or not a really big day tomorrow, but I've got 2 meetings I've got to have. And then with a bit of luck, find somewhere to pull up in a town that's having a big celebration in it for some reason. So great weekend to turn up. But anyway, I'll go and try and do that, and we'll see what happens. Folks, thank you very much for being awake at this time of night and bothering to come and join me. I really appreciate it. VOFHQ.com if you want to come and join us. We're always looking for members, and if you're keen to, we can always use a donation. While I'm raving about the fuel and the H2 system, we still have to pay for it. It is a great system, folks. I can't believe what it would do on a diesel motor. I can't wait for one of you to put it on a diesel motor and tell me what it's done, because I'm going to be, I hope, as soon as Vince fixes his Excel spreadsheet, I think I'm going to be really, really, really excitedly happy with the results. And at every level, not just because it goes further on less fuel or on the same fuel, but the fact that it is something of such value. If you do a lot of kilometers every year, it's not much good if you're just driving 10 or 20,000 k's. You're probably going to have to take 5 or 6 years for it to pay for itself. But if you do a lot of kilometers every year, you drive a tractor a lot, you drive a header a lot, big heavy equipment that uses a lot of diesel. I was talking to a bloke the other day. He is using 18,000 litres of diesel a week at the moment. This sort of thing on his systems could save him, $8,000 a week, maybe up to $8,000 a week. You got to think that's, well worthwhile looking into. If you're in that sort of a business with those sorts of big numbers, then I urge you to email Tim, h2@vofhq.com, and that'll go straight to Tim. He does a deal for VOF friends, and he will look after you. But geez, I've got to tell you, at the moment, based on what I'm seeing, you are going to be blown away by the results. Absolutely blown away. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you, folks. Have a good night. There is a chance tomorrow night at some stage I'll fire up on all the channels, provided I can find somewhere flat to pull up and set out, whether it be Starlink or the other thing. We need to have a bit of a look into why Starlink was doing what it was doing yesterday. And this laptop seems to be doing some interesting things. I do have my old laptop here with me, so I'm going to be, over the next couple of days, doing a few investigations into it. Exactly what's in both of them. We'll see what's there. All right, folks, have yourself a great day, or night, as the case is. No closer, because I didn't have an opener, no button to push, except this one. Watch out for the dickheads, hey?